his full power form, so I think that scales really, really well.
Hello, monkeys!
We got one!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dad's Expensive Hobby.
Welcome back. We missed you.
Today we are taking a look at the Figuarts Full Power Frieza, the long-awaited review that I've been dying to do, taking a couple months to get him here, but he's finally here, and I gotta tell you, he does not disappoint. This figure is really good, but for a figure that's basically $100, he'd better be.
You're goddamn right.
He does mostly everything really, really well, but he does a couple of things that I don't really like, but we'll get into that here in a minute. First things first, let's get him scaled up and see how tall he is.
So how tall are you?
Okay, so from the floor, he stands exactly 5 inches tall, which would make him south of 13 centimeters tall. And I think that works pretty well. Let's stand him next to the Figuarts legendary Super Saiyan Goku. And I think that scales pretty good. Goku, is normally a little bit taller than Frieza, but Frieza gets a little bit taller when he goes to his full power form. So I think that scales really, really well. Let's also stand him next to the Figuarts Final Form Frieza. This is the first release of that figure, and it still holds up today as being a pretty awesome figure. And I think they look really good next to each other. But like I said, when Frieza goes full power, he definitely gets a little bit bigger, so I think that works. Let's also stand him next to the Figuarts Mecha Frieza. And they are almost the exact same height. Full power is a little bit taller, but Mecha Frieza, I think, came back just a little bit taller after all his little mechanical adaptations and stuff were added to him, especially his head got a lot bigger as well. And I think that looks really good. And just for kicks, let's stand him next to the Figuarts First Form Frieza, and I think that scales really, really well. I am definitely breaking out some OG Figuarts Frieza figures, but that's about all I've got for scale. I think the scale on this guy is really, really good, and I think they did a really good job. So let's move in and take a look at his paint and detail.
Propane and propane accessories.
I know I just said paint and detail, but I'm lying sometimes, and I meant his accessories.
Ugh, idiot.
But he comes with quite a bit of accessories. He comes with 4 head sculpts in total. He comes with a smirking face, a teeth gritting face, an even wider teeth gritting face, and an open mouth yelling face. All 4 of these head sculpts are absolutely gorgeous, and their detail is just second to none. They are superbly done. He comes with 10 hands in total. He has a pair of fist hands, a pair of fighting grip hands, a pair of knife hands for energy blasts, a pair of open palm blast hands, and a pair of open palm blast hands that plug into his death discs. These things look fantastic. They are nice and opaque and pink. They look awesome. They look just like Krillin's Destructo Disc, only they're pink, and I think that just the look of them that they went with looks fantastic. All of the hands look fantastic so far. He comes with 4 feet in total. He comes with 2 flat feet just for when he's standing around or if he's getting ready to kick something, and 2 flex feet for like if he's flying or if he has his foot up on a rock, something like that. He comes with a very vascular tail here, as you can see, and it's got that little severed mark where he got cut in half by his death discs. And he comes with a really awesome battle damage faceplate for the legendary Super Saiyan Goku figure. And for a premium Bandai figure, I think that should be standard, but I'm not complaining about all that stuff. I mean, the 4 heads, 10 hands, 4 feet, 2 death discs, and an awesome faceplate for Goku. I really can't complain. Would I like if he'd have come with a flight stand? Sure, or an extra energy blast, something like that, or a rock or something. Yeah, but I think we came out pretty well, even for an expensive figure like this.
More than you can afford, pal.
We got quite a bit of accessories, and the figure himself is absolutely fantastic. Fuck yeah! Now, a minute ago, I did mention, his paint and detail. So let's go ahead and take a look at his paint and detail.
I must paint you.
Oh, that's...
Now, paint and detail is one of the aspects of this figure where he really shines. And I mean that literally.
I like it because it's shiny.
Because the super glossy purple parts on this figure look absolutely amazing. They are contrasted by a beautifully matte off-white body with that subtle, you know, kind of blue shading in lots of the muscle parts right here. He has just paint all over him with the shading and then the matte finish all over him. Just gorgeous figure. Let's start at his head. You know, of course, the purple parts, beautifully high gloss finish on them. Lots of details, battle damage right here. The veins in the head sculpts, the paint on the face sculpts, all four of them just second to none. All of them, their detail is just, Bandai really put a lot of thought into this figure. His neck got
save the neck for me, Clark.
That blue shading right there, some battle damage even in the neck, the musculature of the neck. His shoulders with those purple round spots, nice and glossy, contrasted by that matte finish. Plenty of battle damage all over him. The muscle detail looks great. There's veins all over him, head to toe. The paint work looks excellent on this figure. My only aesthetic complaint is his tramp stamp, but
2 on the lower back. Might as well be a bullseye.
I'm sure you've heard that from other people already that's reviewed this figure, but that is a little bit annoying, but nothing, you know, it's not a deal breaker for sure. You kind of stain him like that, can't even see it. His tail, tons of detail and shading in the tail, lots of veins. I'll let you all draw your own conclusions as to what that looks like. Abdomen and torso, muscularity just off the charts. His
nice potato chip.
Chest day, all day, every day for this guy. Great abdomen, nice taper right through there. Again, more shading and battle damage. The legs, shading, battle damage, vascularity. Then, you know, complemented with that nice glossy purple spot there. His feet look great. Nice shading, battle damage again. Gorgeous glossy toenails. All four of the feet that he came with look fantastic. This figure, whew, this is one gorgeous, gorgeous figure. Definitely worth the money. But that's really it about it. With his paint, he's a pretty, you know, he's a two-tone guy. He always has been. So there's not a whole big bunch of paint as far as paint differences to go over. But the details are there. Would I like to have seen a little bit of line work or wash or something in those the battle damaged areas? Sure, but honestly, I'm not sure it needs it, but it wouldn't have hurt it either. So it doesn't hurt it that it doesn't have it, and it wouldn't have hurt it if it did have it. So I can live without it. But that's about all I've got for his paint and detail. It just looks fantastic. Let's take a look at his articulation and see how well he moves.
I know Kung Fu.
Okay, you are in for a treat. For a beefy, muscular figure, this guy moves around really well. His head looks down really good because, in conjunction with his neck that moves excellently, so he looks up pretty decent, not super duper high, but then again, he doesn't really need to. Looks down great. Head tilts pretty well, even though he's got a ginormous neck on him.
Take your goddamn neck, all right?
And that's all because, as I sling it across the room,
I did!
His head is on a double ball peg.
Oh my god, no way!
And I tell everybody every video, double ball pegs are the way to go for the head because you get excellent movement when you use one. Now the neck, a little gappy, not super duper bad, but there is some gapping, but I'm not going to complain too much. His shoulders go out to 90 with no problem, and look at the size of those things. The fact that they go out to 90 is super impressive. The butterfly on them, very, very good. They can cross over, not quite as good as the Superhero Piccolo or the Gogeta, but they are definitely really good. That is excellent. The only kind of complaint I might have about that is the way they did the cut in the chest here. The arms got to go up kind of high to do it, and when they do that, they kind of hide his face a little bit, but no big deal because the sculpt of this figure looks so good. I can kind of overlook that because his chest sculpt looks gorgeous. Look at that. Nice and huge, and he can still reach across himself, so I have zero complaints. The butterfly looks really, really good. Standard bicep swivel. That's actually not as tight as I thought it would be.
Tight. It is tight.
It moves pretty. I mean, it's tight, but it's not. It's not loose. It moves really, really well. Double jointed elbow. I want to be generous and call that past 90, especially for his Arnold Schwarzenegger biceps right here. The fact that they go past 90 at all is impressive, so I don't have a problem with it. And I actually kind of like how they look. Little gappy, but I like that piece right there. It looks like an elbow, so I don't have a problem with it. The wrist is on a ball hinge, just like any other SH Figuarts. The abdomen crunches really, really well, but I will tell you to be careful. Just like the other fourth form Friezas, this part right here is glossy and this is matte, and there will be paint transfer if you're not careful with what you're doing. But he's got, you know, a 3-segmented torso, so you don't have to crunch him. You know, he crunches really, really well, leans back really well, but you don't need to constantly drag him all the way down to get the kind of crunch effect that you want. Tilts really, really good. Little bit of gapping if you tilt him too much, and if you tilt him back, you get a little bit of gapping there. That is one of the other complaints I had about this figure. But nothing, you know, nothing crazy. This portion right through here, his little diaper kind of area right there, is a softer plastic than the rest of him, and that allows for some extra movement. And like his thighs right here, there's some soft plastic, and I'll show you why they did that. And that is because he gets really good range of motion in his split area. But a third complaint I have is what is this, and why do we have it? Who knows? I'm not going to complain too bad, but that is we could have done without the Frieza junk there, but whatever. Does a gymnast split really well. Also, got some thigh swivel there, double jointed knee, very, very good, way past 90 there. I like that. And again, a little bit of gapping, but I'm not going to complain because I like the way the kneecap looks. Like the elbow and the knee, both joints are gappy at the top and bottom, but the kneecap and the elbow point look like kneecaps and elbows. So I'm going to give them, I'm not going to take away points, I'll put it that way. His foot comes off.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Off really easy, and it's just his left foot. Tell me if that, you know, down in the comments if your figure does that as well, if you have one, or if you've heard of somebody saying that the left foot comes off, because that's the second time his left foot has come off on me. But not very much, if any. Tilt back, tilts down pretty good, does get nice little tilt, you know, rocker pitch, whatever you want to call it, side to side, and that's just because the ankle is a ball hinge down there. But you know, every single Frieza figure, the ankles have been a ball hinge. Looking back here to his tail actually doesn't bother me. Usually a tail bothers me, but this one doesn't bother me. It's just on a little ball hinge that plugs up in there, and it's just kind of a solid piece. There's nothing that kind of messes with the aesthetic like another ball hinge down here in the middle. I don't know if necessarily they had to make the tail come off of this large thing sticking off his butt right here, but again, like I said, it doesn't bother me super bad. I'm not a big fan of the way they do tails, but you know, I'm not an engineer. Maybe that's the way they have to do it. Overall, this figure's articulation is really, really good, especially for a big beefy figure. So I don't really have any complaints other than some gappiness, and you know, his foot kind of comes off a little bit, and I don't really like that. And the worry about the paint transfer in the abdomen, but every fourth form Frieza has had that same, you know, concern about the paint transfer because of this little purple thing here rubbing against the matte abdomen. Other than that, articulation is fantastic. Let's move into my final thoughts.
Listen to me very carefully.
Okay, this is a premium Bandai figure. So the name premium equals it comes with high expectations.
Do I look high?
And I gotta say, Full Power Frieza lived up to it. This figure is excellent. Excellent with a capital E. I'm giving him an A+ for sure. You know what? No, what? Not for sure. I am making this an S tier figure. This is a premier level figure. I highly, highly recommend everybody get one. I wish I had bought more than one. This figure is fantastic. I know it's going to be hard to get your hands on one if you don't already have one. The secondary market's going to make him very expensive.
I'm broke, nigga! I'm broke!
But there's a reason for that, because this figure is phenomenal. His aesthetic is off the charts. His paint and detail are off the charts. His articulation is fantastic. His accessories are really, really good. His price was a little high, but for what we paid, he is definitely worth it. I highly recommend you get one. I highly recommend that you watch my other videos. And that's all I've got for Full Power Frieza. This has been Dad with Dad's Expensive Hobby, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.